Imagine a war strategy so audacious it planned to take down two powerful nations with a swift 1-2 punch. This was the essence of the Schlieffen Plan. Conceived as Germany's master stroke during World War I, it was a plan of swift victory, aimed at knocking out France before turning east to face Russia. But as we'll explore, the best-laid plans often go awry, and the Schlieffen Plan was no exception. So buckle up as we delve into the intricate world of war strategies and their impact on history. The Schlieffen Plan, named after its architect, German Field Marshal Alfred von Schlieffen, was a bold strategy. At the heart of the plan was an audacious move to knock out France from the war equation as quickly as possible. The idea was simple yet ambitious: encircle Paris from the north, force a quick French capitulation, and then redirect German troops eastward to face the slower mobilizing Russian forces. In theory, it was a masterstroke of military strategy. After all, it allowed Germany to avoid fighting a two-front war, a scenario that would stretch its resources thin. However, the plan hinged on several assumptions. It assumed that Belgium would offer little resistance, that Russia would take a long time to mobilize, and that the British would remain neutral or be too late to make a significant difference. However, the best-laid plans of mice and men often go awry. The Schlieffen Plan was no exception. As we know, the Schlieffen Plan didn't quite pan out as expected. The grand strategy, meticulously crafted to ensure a swift German victory, instead fell victim to a series of unforeseen complications. The crux of the plan hinged on Germany's ability to defeat France quickly, but the reality of war proved more stubborn. The Belgian resistance, far from crumbling under the might of the German army, put up a fierce and unexpected fight. The delay allowed the French and British forces to regroup and launch a counteroffensive, throwing a wrench into the German timetable. Moreover, logistical challenges began to surface. The German supply lines were stretched thin, and the army found itself increasingly short of resources, but the final nail in the coffin was the change in command. Helmuth von Moltke, taking over from Alfred von Schlieffen, decided to modify the plan, weakening the right wing of the offensive. This decision would prove fatal. The failure of the Schlieffen Plan led to the infamous trench warfare on the Western Front, changing the course of World War I. But what if things had gone differently? What if the Schlieffen Plan had succeeded? Imagine for a moment a world where the Schlieffen Plan did not falter, where the German army swiftly defeated France and turned their might towards Russia. The picture we paint here is one of a war that might have unfolded in stark contrast to the historical trenches of the Western Front. The swift defeat of France would have been a significant turning point. Without the need for prolonged warfare, the Western Front would have remained mobile, avoiding the grueling stalemate of trench warfare that defined much of the First World War. But the ripple effects would have reached far beyond the battlefield. A swift victory would have had profound implications on the geopolitical stage. The balance of power in Europe would have shifted dramatically, with Germany emerging as the dominant force. The war's end might have arrived sooner, saving countless lives, and the map of Europe could have been redrawn under the influence of a triumphant Germany. The repercussions of such an outcome would have resonated throughout the 20th century, potentially reshaping events and conflicts yet to come. The success of the Schlieffen Plan could have also influenced the public's perception of war, possibly preventing the widespread disillusionment that followed the prolonged and bloody reality of trench warfare. A successful Schlieffen Plan could have rewritten the history of the 20th century. However, history is seldom simple, and the success of the Schlieffen Plan would not have been without its own complications. Let's take a moment to consider some of the potential challenges and criticisms of this alternate scenario. The resilience of French forces, for instance, could have been a significant deterrent. Even with a swift German offensive, the spirit of the French resistance could have held strong, delaying or even reversing German advances. Then there's the factor of British intervention. A successful Schlieffen Plan might have provoked a more robust response from Britain, potentially altering the dynamics of the conflict entirely. But let's ask ourselves an essential question. Would a successful Schlieffen Plan have truly resulted in a different outcome for World War I? Perhaps it would have merely altered the timeline and the nature of the conflict, without changing the overall outcome. The Schlieffen Plan, successful or not, would have left an indelible mark on the course of history. As we delve into the annals of history, we see the intricate web of cause and effect. We've explored the Schlieffen Plan, its historical outcome, and the tantalizing what-if scenario. The plan's failure had far-reaching implications, shaping the nature of warfare in the course of history. However, had it succeeded, the world might have been a vastly different place. We invite you to ponder these questions and share your thoughts with us. Remember, history is not just what happened, but a constant conversation about what could have been.